You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, World Wide Web? It's Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And this is Adam.
Nice. He's on the show today. Hey. Well, and we are filmmakers.
And we're also drinking bourbon.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. All right.
Take a sip here.
What do we got?
That's what I'm talking about. Down and dirty.
Nice.
Down and dirty.
What do we got?
Well, we had a great month with Four Roses after Bourbon Heritage Month, but it's now October.
Yeah.
Fall has fallen, guys.
It's quite cold.
And you know what you do in the fall time?
You warm up.
You eat turkey. And we're going to kick that off real early.
And you drink turkey, too.
With Wild Turkey. So today we're drinking the Wild Turkey 101 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
There you go.
Established in 1855.
That's very awesome.
How's that taste? What do you think?
My dad's drinking this right now, probably.
He is.
He likes some turkey.
That's good.
Nice.
What do you guys think? How would you sort of describe this, Adam?
Me? Cold and wet.
Nice.
Works well.
Cold and wet. Works well. Warms you up inside.
Nothing like it. It's good for an afternoon, right?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that's great about this time of the year is it's about friends and family. And we got Adam on the show again. We don't even need to do a segment today because the whole show is about audio.
It's all in his world.
This whole show is audio, Adam. It's all for you, buddy.
It's bound to be a good show, if you ask me.
It's like our gift to you.
Yeah. That's
And now here's
Thanks,
the thing.
guys.
This is a
We like you.
This is a podcast called Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon.
For sure.
But why would it be about audio?
Because audio is part of film.
big part.
Simple as that.
You're right. It might be one of the most crucial parts,
It
and
is.
that's why I have a special guest today.
Do you?
I lined up somebody awesome who I love. They're near and dear to my heart.
Really? Who are they?
The guys from Audio Network.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Audio Network. You guys don't even know. We are about to find out. I believe we might be able to get a hold of Jonathan. He's on the line, I think, in California. Dave, can we get the
We switch them over?
dial-up machine?
You got a fire truck in there.
That is the car alarm modem.
Jonathan, are you there?
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, what's up, man?
how's it
How are
going?
you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Pretty
We're doing
good,
great.
man. Well, we're super stoked to have you on the show today. We are filmmakers, but we need audio. And you, my friend, and your friends at Audio Network do a hell of a job at supplying that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm stoked to be on the show.
Awesome. So for the listeners who don't know, tell us a little bit about what you guys do and what your service is, and how filmmakers can leverage you guys.
Yeah, totally. So Audio Network's a music company, music publishing company that's based out of the UK. And we're a music provider to all forms of media, TV, film, online, kind of just basically anything that requires music. And basically what we have is an entire high-quality catalog of music that's all sort of ready to go that we're able to provide to our clients who are creating media.
Nice.
And, yeah, that's what we do. What we do is we basically just make really high-quality music, and we keep production in mind
Well,
while we're making it.
I definitely can attest to that. I know one of the things, and I think the guys here in the room will attest to, it's so hard when you're working on a limited budget and you need to get that sort of royalty-free music. There's stuff out there that's decent. There's stuff that's okay, but there's a lot of really bad stuff. Adam, would you agree?
Oh, God. Yes.
You got to wade through a lot to find the good nuggets.
Yeah. And so I know through the years I've used different companies, and several years ago I came across Audio Network, and I realized I was in a different country because I had to then redirect to audionetwork.us. But I found this music that sounded really good, and I'm like, man, this stuff is like well produced. It's well written. It had some originality to it, but it wasn't just copycat of whatever was hot on the radio. And I thought it was really great, and that's when I started my relationship with Audio Network. So my company, Leap Frame, has a blanket agreement with Audio Network, and we have for about 3 years now. And you guys have a lot of great quality stuff. Just the other day, I was showing somebody a video we did, and they were like, hey, is that the Black Keys? And I'm like, it was kind of a garage rock sort of sound, and I was like, no.
Right.
I was like, but it is really well produced music from Audio Network.
Yeah.
So, tell us how you guys achieve that. How do you get such a good quality out of this music that is being used and is fairly competitive as far as prices go?
Yeah, so that's sort of like a response that we get often, which is really sort of like a feather in our cap, and it's really kind of our focus is to maintain the integrity of just like really, really high quality music. A lot of our music is actually recorded in the UK, and our primary studio is actually Abbey Road Studios.
What?
The world famous
awesome.
Abbey Road.
Wow.
As in the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix
as
Abbey
in
Road?
literally the Beatles. Yes,
Wow.
as in
Crazy.
Beatles Abbey Road. And it's kind of cool. We're actually at this point where the Abbey Road's #1 client, so we record there 2 to 3 sessions a week.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And what we do is like that. For example, the track that you're one of the tracks that you're probably referring to when it comes to like when someone mentioned it sounds like the Black Keys, where we sort of differ from some of those other some of the other kind of competitors that you highlighted that are sort of like where there's like a lot of junky music.
Yeah.
But there is other good music sources out there. But how we kind of differ is that if we create a rock. If there's a rock song, we'll literally get in the studio with rock musicians and record with real instruments and record at a great studio with a great producer. And essentially we release real albums. So it's sort of like, in a weird way, kind of the record industry that died is what we're sort of doing. So, where they actually kind of give you an advance sort of to record an album and they pay for the recording and then you release an album. You go in the studio and you create an album. So that's what we do. And so our entire catalog of music, which is around 100,000 tracks now, is all done that way. So we release 18 new albums a month.
Well, and
pretty wild.
The thing that I love about that is that with a project, you can get different tracks that have the same vibe and really sell in a longer project if you need 2, 3, or 4 tracks. I mean,
it's all in the album.
Let's let Adam. Let's let him weigh in here because I use exclusively Audio Network, and Adam here in the room at Sound Images, he does all my audio post. So Adam, what do you think? I've been sending over stuff every time you get hit with music. What's your impression?
Yeah. So what I've noticed and what I like about your guys' stuff is, well, first off, it's Brandon's always his selected it right. It's always on it. But there's never that one thing that you listen to and go like, you know what, this would be great without the marimba. Or there's not that one thing that always gets in the way. Like you said before, it's written for production, and you can tell. Like you can tell that's what that focus was in mind.
Yeah, and they do a great job of pulling out the splits and giving you one with the marimba, one without, one with the vocals, one without. So, so what is that? You guys have this philosophy with putting out the records and things that are happening. But where is that music going? I know how I use it. I use it a lot with documentary, or I use it with commercials, that type of thing. But where is mainly a lot of this music ending up?
Yeah, well, we do a lot in the probably where it gets used the most is in kind of the cable space. So across, reality television, things like that, where they really require just a lot of music, as you know what I mean, just tons and tons of music. So that's kind of a large portion of our clientele, and then we also work with every single major studio and network on a one-off basis. So that's kind of what I do here at Audio Network is I focus more on the single track, like finding the perfect track for a scripted television show where I'm working with a music supervisor, and we're trying to figure out, they need sometimes a very obscure piece of music for a very specific usage, or maybe it's less obscure and it's more accessible, like with a reference of like Adele or something like that. And then we kind of go through the catalog and work together to kind of figure out which track would be best, for the spot. And those are for more of like the higher profile things, like we just did like Big Bang Theory. We have a track in that coming out, and just tons of like kind of network shows like that.
Now, you guys have kind of I don't know if you have it in front of you, but you guys have a process in your search, I know, at least for the user end, and Adam will attest, and I know Alex as well when he does projects. Sometimes knowing how to search and what to search for is crucial. So you guys put together like a little acronym, though, don't you? Have something that you use to help people search better?
Yeah, we have an acronym. I don't, unfortunately, it probably reflects poorly on me, but I actually don't have it in front of me. But basically, what it is if you're using it kind of guides everybody on how to best search the site. And it's about using the keyword bar, and it's sort of like putting in like the mood and the feel or the instrument, or it's the order in which
you'll get better results if you were to say, I want bright, up-tempo, corporate. That might give you something different than dark, melodic, digital.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's sort of like it's a combination of keyword searches that sort of kind of help you hone in on what exactly it is that you're looking for. But we also have some really other cool features where if you're more just kind of listening through and you're trying to find inspiration, we actually have like a favorites section, which I find to be really helpful. So it's like I'll just be listening to things and I'm like, oh, this track is like really banging. I love this. So I'll star it. There's a little star that pops up and it goes into your favorites folder. And it's all stuff where it's like, I don't maybe need this right this second, but I want to be able to revisit
Might come
this.
up. Yeah.
And so you can kind of just go to your favorites and pull stuff there. And you can also make project folders and share them with the rest of your post team. And like, hey, here's like all the stuff I pulled for this episode of the TV show. Like, I'll send it to this editor, to drop it in or to add to it or, to check it out and things like that.
Yeah, and
so it kind of like helps connect everyone from like a workflow standpoint.
Exactly. And that's one of the features I love about it is I can pull my selects and then send it to the client and they don't have to sift through everything. They're just looking at the selects that I pulled.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Streamline.
Yeah, and another cool thing too is that we also have a fully staffed creative team based in our New York office. And for every single client, it's available to them. Our team's available to them. So, obviously we have 100,000 tracks in the library. It can be kind of like a bit much for somebody who's, in a time crunch. And just along with the services that we provide, we also extend our creative services to them. So they can just send us references, and we'll just do all the searching and pulling together folders for them.
That's key.
So.
I don't know how many times, and the people who do that and do it well, that is such a beautiful service. I mean, it's multiple times here. I know it's on my plate or it's on someone's plate at the studio, and we know there's just not enough time, and you can get double work done and say, hey, can you guys help me? Here's what I need. And you've got twice and
they pull you a bunch of options.
Oh,
yeah. And you guys have such a great team as well. I got to hang out with you guys at NAB. I actually got to drink bourbon with you guys at
nice.
like Caesar's Palace or something like that. It was pretty rad.
Wow.
Well, you mentioned, we've talked about what you guys do. We've talked about some of your music, but our listeners are dying to hear it. Is this stuff any good? And you told me that you guys recently got some awards from some theatrical stuff, and maybe you got some samples of it?
Yeah, so recently something we're really excited about is that we were just awarded best use of production music in a theatrical trailer.
Wow,
and
cool.
It's for a film called Comet, which is starring Justin Long.
Nice.
Awesome.
And they used a track that was called, or a track by an artist named Tom Rosenthal, who actually has a pretty great commercial career on his own.
Yeah.
Like you can go on Spotify and listen to his stuff, and it's sort of like an alt-J kind of vibe is how people compare him. And I actually listen to him all the time, to be honest, like on Spotify, just like driving around and stuff. He's really great.
It's a solid artist.
But
cool.
Yeah, we went ahead and pitched this track for the trailer, and it ended up sticking, and we're really happy with it. So we recently won an award for that placement.
Okay, cool. Dave, Dave, is there a way to cue that up? Let's check it out.
My heart is near, my love has gone away. And tell me true, my heart is new, my love has gone away.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is cool.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Super
It's
solid.
super like emotional piece. But
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's one of the things that I realized about because there's so many ways to make music now, and everybody like you can create a library essentially in your basement and just start like getting on a keyboard and making like tons of tracks. But and a lot of people do that. But that's one of the things that really blows my mind about working with Audio Network is because there actually is a difference between real instruments, which is something that's sort of fading away. Unfortunately, I feel like to
Preach
a
it
certain
every
extent.
day.
Yeah, and it's like it has to do with like the emotion when you strike the key on a real piano. Like those are just things that the emotion behind striking that key on a piano are things that you can't really recreate with fake samples and things like that, or strings, or like the imperfections and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps sort of transcend some of the emotions for music placement.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: so? That was a really nice track, but I'm assuming none of us can use that track, right?
Oh no, you absolutely can. Yeah.
Seriously.
Please do.
What?
So wait a second. So can I get that track without the vocals, just the piano? It feels a little like a little Carla Commando going on.
Yeah, so we
Yes!
we
This is
actually do instrumentals for like everything, and we actually do versions for everything too. So
Oh my God.
when we get in the studio, you guys may have run into this where sometimes you're like, gosh, this piece of music's perfect, but the timing's just not right for the beats, and like it's just not really. It's really hard to edit exactly where I want. So sometimes you're like, I really wish I had like stems for this, so I can like drop this instrument out and bring it back in and things like that. So we sort of like actually do that version of that, and they're called versions, and we do maybe 5 to 6 different versions of the song that are available on the website. So we sort of do the stems for you.
That's
So
incredible.
it just gives you options to edit to, and one of those things is an instrumental option for everything that has vocals.
Well, dude, that is amazing. It sounds awesome, and I'm so glad you guys are getting recognition for that.
Yeah.
You guys also had sort of a placement. I don't know if it was a surprise to you guys, but I know you promoted it on the site with the Spike Jonze Her movie, right?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Her by Spike Jonze, the film with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, we had music in that as well.
Amazing.
And yeah, we're definitely super excited about that. I mean, it's really kind of cool because seeing the transition to like more higher profile placements is sort of actually more of like also a testament to just our music team based out of the UK and sort of their strategy, because it's really at the end of the day you're only as strong as like your
product.
worst track.
Yeah, you're only as strong as the studio where the Beatles recorded everything. But that's fine.
That's right.
Awesome.
Well, man,
You know what I actually heard about Abbey Road that's interesting, and I actually haven't been there, and hopefully I'll be able to visit this year for work. But apparently there's actually a place that you can like stay in, like in the attic or something like that. Like there's like people like live there like off and on for like short periods of time, like in the studio.
Really?
It's pretty weird.
That's so. Clients or just people affiliated with the studio, or just any random
Yeah, I guess
person
maybe it's like
capable of
if
paying?
you're like recording there for a long period of time, you can like rent out the space and like actually kind of stay there overnight.
What?
That'd be great.
Which is weird,
kinda
right?
nuts, yeah.
I mean, you guys are their biggest client. I figured at
Sleepover.
least at some point in time they could comp you a night. To
Yeah,
go,
that's
to
what
go
I'm
spend in Abbey Road with the ghosts of Abbey Road.
The ghosts of Abbey Road.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. So, the thing that I love, and again, as a speaking as a user, as a believer, is you guys make it easy. All the tracks are great. It's pretty easy to use the search tool. I have actually used the ARL service where I've called you guys in New York, and you guys have pulled some selects for me. So I can attest to it. At a small boutique digital film and motion design firm, you guys have been super helpful, super useful, and just great quality music. Now, Adam, let me ask you a question, Adam, because this might be what some of our listeners are thinking, especially some of your fans.
Yep.
Adam's the voice for audio on the show. What about guys like Adam who produce music, and he produces some pretty badass tracks, but maybe they're on the shelf and he doesn't know what to do with them? Do you guys have people where people can reach out to you and say, hey, listen to some of this music I'm creating that may or may not be able to be licensed through Audio Network? Talk about it from a musical standpoint.
Yeah, so our A&R strategy is sort of it differs a little bit from other competitors. I think in general we just differ probably, but we're pretty selective about that kind of a thing. So when we listen to, there is a submission email where people can submit SoundCloud links and it's on our website audionetwork.com. But basically, what we do is we don't actually sign any pre-recorded material. And part of that is for quality control reasons. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons why you click on every single track and every track is, big and expansive and the same quality and the same level is that there's a certain degree of quality control that we're able to maintain by overseeing every step of production on our own. Great. So basically what we do is if you have a bunch of tracks in the can that you're not using, then you'd be able to send us those links, and if it's something that we think would be great for the catalog, we would use those as an example of what you're capable of, and then if we're interested, we'd reach out and commission an exclusive new album.
Nice.
That's cool. That is really cool.
So there's definitely opportunities for new music makers and other people to connect with Audio Network, and not just people who are using it on the back end.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely opportunities for that, fantastic. And I know we do listen to everything that comes in, and we're really good about that. But yeah, we don't do any we don't accept any pre-recorded material. But my advice for people, if they were to submit, it's kind of a harder sell, in my opinion, to say, oh well, I do everything. There's a lot of people who do production music or who compose, they're I'm really good at everything, and it's I don't know that we're necessarily the company where we're interested in someone who does everything. We're interested in someone who does one thing really, really well, better than most people.
No doubt.
So that would be kind of focus on whatever it is that you do well, and just hammer that home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much
happy or whatever.
A lesson for life there.
Yeah.
People need to know when to call you. That's, I think,
in all aspects.
Yeah.
I mean, there are very few, just to take it back to filmmaking, very few filmmakers that can write, produce, edit, shoot, direct, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Specialization's key.
Although I do feel the editor, producer, or the predator, right, is what they call it. I feel that's the thing these days. It's to kind of transition more.
For reality, for sure. Definitely. Mm-hmm. So I have a question. So say somebody, a big studio, they've got a film or a trailer or something coming out, and they come to you guys and they're looking for a track, and they just can't find what they're looking for. And they've worked with you and your team to search for a track, and it's just not popping up. And then do you ever have anybody request something that you just don't have in the library that you would then have to go produce brand new?
Well, what we do is we actually log all of those searches.
Yeah.
So we keep track of everything that's being requested, and if there's sort of a gap in the catalog and sort of a trend that maybe we didn't have the foresight to already have stuff in the catalog for, then we'll commission an album if there's enough need for it.
Yeah.
But we also can do custom composition as well. Depending on budget, sometimes it's a little out of reach for some productions. If they're working on a super shoestring budget, it might be tough to get the English session orchestra in the UK to do a piece for them or whatever.
That's awesome.
That's cool to know there's custom options though.
Well, I'll tell you.
But we do that.
One genre that you can never have enough of, and I guarantee you all of our listeners will agree with, is aspirational corporate sort of Coldplay, where it's we're going on this journey that ends in triumph, and it's but it's got to be cool, and there's you guys have a lot of that, but since we do so much of it, we use it up really quick. So
and you'll have heard that one track in somebody else's
video. Make a note of for us. Yeah, that you're right about that. That is a hugely requested thing, and also sort of bright acoustic instrumental stuff. That's
summertime.
That's happy and inspirational.
Yeah, your all's sort of folktronica sort of section is always good.
Nice.
Awesome, thank you.
I mean, I have a pretty solid theory that no corporation would ever meet their sales goals if it wasn't for production music libraries inspirational section.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's necessary.
Yeah, seriously.
So that is awesome. Well, one of the things we want to know is let's get into some serious stuff now. What are you guys watching over there? What's the stuff you guys are into? What are you talking about at lunchtime? What are the shows? What are the movies you're watching?
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. For me, I'm like like I get stuck on a show, and if I'm like really into it, I just start watching reruns of the same thing, which is probably kind of like not really. I mean, I don't like watch like a ton of new media. I'm a huge like Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, and I just like honestly like blow through the same episodes over and over again. It's like really kind of pathetic, but I just love it. It's hilarious.
They're always good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I got in Narcos.
There you go.
And that was awesome. I thought that was really great.
The music was great.
Yeah, the music was incredible. And yeah, Veep. I just started. What is it? Oliver Kittredge recently.
I don't know what that is.
It's
what's that about?
It's like a docu. It's a mini series on. I think it's on HBO, or it might be actually on Netflix. I'm not sure, but can't remember. But yeah, it's pretty good. I've only seen like an episode or two. It won like a ton of Emmys, basically for like independent miniseries. But it's sort of a pretty serious drama kind of thing.
All right, cool.
It's worth checking out for sure.
Very nice.
What about you guys? Anything cool that people need to know about?
None I can talk about
Yeah.
yet. Soon.
No, I was going to ask Jonathan a question. Say, have you ever watched anything? You're just watching a show or a thing you find on the internet. It's something you notice a track
I've done
from
that.
Audio Network.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. There's like, you know what's funny? There's actually we have a composer or a composer named William Davies, and he does a lot of our like really big hip hop tracks, like the really accessible kind of like US style hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like some of my favorite tracks in the library. And we actually, if you watch like Sports Center, there's actually a promo that they play all the time. So always like they always cut to like that to that song.
Nice.
And one of the songs that he does. So it's funny because if you're watching it like for extended periods of time, you start hearing the song over and over again. You're like, man, they really use the hell out of this thing.
That's great.
Oh,
But
I always hear
but
stuff.
yeah, we'll hear stuff all the time where I'm like, oh, that's not a network track. Especially in reality, because like you'll sit there and the entire landscape of reality will be comprised of Audio Network sometimes.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, oh, this is like
70
scored
variations
by
on the
us.
same
Hey,
theme.
there's a great track on your all site that's like a country hip hop track. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a slide guitar and it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like
right, yeah.
I forget the name of it, but like I always like whenever I'm doing searches, like sure enough, that little guy pops up and I'm like, one day I'm going to use you.
I'm going to use that.
I'm going to use that one day.
We actually released an album specific to that. It was like a crossover. It's a crossover like it's like an urban cowboy, I think, is something like we called it something around like something like that, probably. And and yeah, it was like kind of like that crossover hip hop kind of country sort of vibe.
Yeah.
And that stuff gets used a ton, especially in reality.
That's funny, man.
Wow,
So
wow,
what about working on? I mean, you've shared a lot of what you do, but is there something right now you guys are working on that maybe you could tease out to the listeners?
Yeah, so, I mean, we're always working on music placement at all times, so, you know, that's sort of a daily thing that we're, you know, lucky enough and we work hard enough to, you know, be able to see music placements on a daily basis, but and TV. But the things that I get really excited about is our music creation and kind of albums that we have that are coming out and how they're made. And because I think they're just really cool stories and it just gets me really excited about pitching it and getting it out there. But one thing that we're working on right now is a trailer album. And
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be like it's going to be like multiple kind of releases, all part of this trailer collection. And basically it's two composers from out here in California, actually. And then the strings are going to be done at Abbey Road, and it's going to be this sort of like a kind of a crossover, like score rock kind of a crossover trailer album.
Awesome.
But we're actually going to do it with true stems as well. So instead of it just being different versions of the songs, we're going to actually have legitimate stems for this specific one. And we're kind of like mixing it and recording it in a higher quality than we have in the past.
That's cool.
Just making it this really huge kind of trailer production.
Since
album,
it's
so I'm really excited about
a trailer, will there be a stem for the In a World?
we should record those things. I've always wanted to meet the people that do that thing. To, like, talk to them.
There's a great documentary on that.
Well, it's a live action film called In a World.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've actually
funny.
seen
Oh,
stuff.
it's
You guys should get someone like that on the show just to talk and like don't even say anything. Just let them just talk.
Yeah, that'll be our
always be like
maybe
deep
for
and
maybe for our
intimidating.
voiceover show we'll do that.
Yeah.
You know who's
there
getting
you go.
a ton of that work now?
Who?
Liev Schreiber.
Like you have to talk
Schreiber,
like that the entire
Going
time though. You can't let them like break character.
Yeah.
Dude, him and Han Solo, or not Han Solo, fuck,
If you say
Luke Skywalker.
What?
Skywalker.
Huh.
What's
Mark
his name?
Hamill?
Mark Hamill does a ton of voiceover
Wow.
and
Really?
animated work. Oh
Who
yeah.
would have known?
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this: is there something you're excited about? Whether it's Audio Network or you yourself, is there anything looking toward the future? Any new piece of gear? Any new album? Any new thing that you can mention, or what's getting you pumped up?
Well, we're going to be doing some. We're sort of moving kind of towards doing some more kind of commercially, like kind of working with more kind of commercial artists to do some exclusive material for us.
Wow.
A lot of it I can't like really talk about, unfortunately, but
tease it.
I'm really excited about it. Where we're going to kind of get more kind of named people, where it's like, oh no way, like you got those people doing an album for you. That's crazy.
Whoa, wait a second.
So-
You mean filmmakers like us could be using tracks from well-known or quote known
Radio
musicians,
artists. Yeah.
and being able to license those at an affordable price?
Yeah, totally. It's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
At an affordable price.
Yeah, it's going to be like literally like you're going to be like, wow, I'm able to get this artist that I actually really like, and that I know
nuts.
of, and I'm not going to have to pay like $100,000 for
Wow.
it. But you can pay us $100,000. We'll take it. But
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't want to say that you shouldn't, but
That's pretty neat.
Well, that's crazy.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I'll tell you what, man. You guys are just killing the game. Adam, you're the sound guy in the room. What do you got? What are the wild card questions you got that you want to know?
Well, you know what I thought was cool is what you said before about logging your search engine and identifying trends. You able to speak to kind of what's next or what you guys find from that? I'd love to hear. I mean, aside from the hooking up with artists, not like that. But linking up with artists and doing that, I would love to hear, what
What's
people are looking
trending?
for. Yeah.
What's hot?
I mean, outside of
what are the hot
tracks? What's next?
we actually get a ton of requests for so we have U.S. hip hop, but that's one of the things that I know that we're sort of focusing on, like bolstering a little bit more. Because we have a lot of hip hop, but a lot of our vocal hip hop's like UK hip hop, and UK hip hop is like really lyrical
Way
and fast,
different.
fast rapping. And it's just not right for a lot of the United States like market that we're working with. So I know that we get requested all the time hip hop. Everyone wants hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. So we've kind of heard that, and we're working a lot on doing that kind of stuff.
Well, we've got a couple.
We're actually going to be teaming up with a pretty good named producer in the hip hop world who's going to be doing 4 exclusive albums for us. So we're really excited about that.
I hope it's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
That's so cool, man. Well, we've got a couple connections. I'm gonna send you. I'll send you some emails. I got somebody that might be of interest to you.
Ah.
Yeah, do it, man.
And,
That's awesome. Yeah.
and he's definitely one of those candidates would fit in that.
Yes.
You would be able to hear his talent and then say, okay, bring him into the studio and tell him, hey, we need songs to be about these certain things, and he could kill it.
Yeah,
So-
that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah. So anyway,
Very cool.
Well, that is awesome, man. We're super stoked. You guys are doing great stuff. The listeners, I think, are going to be really excited with what you're doing, but they also might be excited because you told me you guys had something special for the listeners.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure how you guys usually do your giveaway.
Oh,
but,
we got a whole
have
system, man. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a process.
Yeah, good, because I don't. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to we have a giveaway. It's a high quality Brookstone Bluetooth speaker that is branded with Audio Network.
Sweet.
Dude, that's rad.
Yeah, so we're going to have that available.
That is amazing. Well,
So you can listen to Audio Network
well, we
on your
have
Bluetooth Audio Network
Yeah,
speaker.
absolutely. We have a process for that, and it requires Twitter. You guys have a Twitter, right?
Yeah, we do. Let me see what it is exactly. 1 second.
Yeah.
Because we actually have since we're a worldwide company, so we actually have
Multiple.
Twitters for kind of all the different regions. But let me see our
Multiple
general one.
Twitters.
Oh man.
Very cool. Well, we have listeners all over the world, so that applies.
That's true.
That's perfect.
But which
That's
Twitter do we
perfect.
choose?
All of them.
So the Twitter that you're going to want to do is just going to be @Audio Network.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Simple enough.
So here's how the listeners can win the Audio Network branded Bluetooth speaker. Alex?
Yes. You got
Tell
to
us how it
do 3 different specific things.
Number 1.
You got to mention @Audio Network.
Number 2.
You have to mention @FDB Podcast.
And number 3.
You have to use the hashtag FDB Giveaway. If you
And-
do those 3 things in a tweet, you'll be entered to win.
And you might also win a purse.
You might also win a purse because we also have FDB Purse Company.
We
giving
found
away
there was
stuff.
some sort of company with FDB that made purses, and they have a hashtag FDB giveaway, and some of our listeners were like caught up in like a crossfire,
Yeah.
and so we think some of our listeners
they
have
might have
won
won a
purses.
purse. Yeah.
Either way, it
hilarious.
doesn't say 4 roses anywhere on it. This is
Either
great.
way, you're
So
not at risk of
You
that.
know what we should do? You guys should start giving out purses for all your giveaways just to make things really confusing.
Yes. We'll put your Bluetooth speaker in a purse and mail it to you.
Perfect. I'm gonna go fill out the
man.
FTB giveaway.
Either
for the
way,
purse.
if our listeners do those 3 things, you'll be entered to win, and it's fantastic.
Well, we really appreciate you being on the show and helping to share with people that you can get great music.
Yes.
And you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. You don't have to know John Legend or Jack Black or
although that helps.
whoever.
Yeah.
Jack Black. I meant Jack White. I meant Jack White.
Jack Black.
Jack
Tenacious,
Black.
Tenacious D,
Yeah,
dude.
the D.
Yeah. So
Kyle Gass.
so we really appreciate it. The fact that you gave us a little giveaway for the listeners, man, that's just really cool.
fantastic.
It's fun to be able to have a show where listeners can actually be a part of it and get cool stuff. So we
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Totally.
And
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And you
Yeah,
guys do
man.
great work. Yes.
yeah, keep up the great
you.
work, and hopefully maybe we'll have you guys back on the show and down the road. At
Awesome. Yeah, we'd love to be back on.
Yeah,
Thank
see how
you.
things have progressed.
maybe we could do it live from Abbey Road.
Perfect.
No.
Yeah,
All in.
there you go. That'd be good.
Killer.
All right,
You
let's
know-
talk about that.
You know what we don't ask? We don't want to ask what our listeners are drinking or what our call-ins are drinking. I mean, I
Oh,
think
we
it makes
should.
it correct.
That's true.
I
Do
mean,
you have a go-to bourbon or spirit of choice?
Yeah, I do have a go-to bourbon. Usually I do just straight up Bullet. Almost
Ooh,
it's like
nice.
whenever I go out, I just get
Yeah.
Bullet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's usually my thing. I kind of do a lot of Scotch and bourbon, but
Nice.
bourbon's kind of Bullet's kind of my go-to. That's what I drink on my way to work
Yeah.
every morning.
Well, you just
Solid.
scored more points with us. There you
I
go.
No, I'm just kidding.
I think that's everybody's go-to.
It's a perfect
Yeah.
morning
It's a good-
bourbon.
good
you know?
bourbon.
Morning.
Yeah, it's a good Wednesday morning sipper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
rye in the
Well,
evening. Yeah.
Now,
Right.
where are you guys at in California?
We're actually in Beverly Hills.
Nice.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that
but we're moving offices to downtown LA in November, so I'm actually really excited about that, to be honest.
yeah.
But
Well, LA
that'll be cool.
LA traffic was definitely a great time for bourbon.
yeah,
There's plenty of time for it too.
And on that
Especially
note,
this
we
part
do
of LA.
not condone drinking bourbon and driving on FTV podcast.
Right.
No, I said that because when I'm in LA, I always have a driver.
You do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Come
that
on.
just in general. Just to
No.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, 2 things here on the show. A, we do not endorse drinking and driving, and we do not endorse Kirk Cameron movies.
There you go. Done. The line has been drawn. Anyway,
geez. All right, man. Hey,
awesome having you on.
thanks so much.
All
We'll,
right, great.
we'll be in touch, and you're the best, man. Cheers.
All right, thanks so
Thanks,
much,
Jonathan.
guys.
All
Cheers.
right, later.
All right, bye-bye.
Excellent. Man, what a great guy.
Killer.
Yeah.
That was fun. What do you
Yeah.
think, Adam? You're the sound guy. What do you think?
No, I've always liked them. I mean, the library itself, I've already been sold on it from you know the times that I've gone through it and all the stuff from you. They're solid. I like it. And I've known of the Abbey Road stuff, and it makes sense. It's cohesive. But yeah, that's
really cool. I mean, well, I know for one thing, like those Four Roses little promos that we did just for giggles. You showed me the spot, and I was like, man, we can't use that song.
Yeah.
That's some artist song. We can't use that. And you're like, no, I got it. Audio Network.
Yeah. The music's
It
great. And
sounded
by the
like
way,
Black Keys.
I'm still waiting. I'm working with Four Roses on that. I'm hoping we're gonna get the release.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah,
But
I'm just telling you.
they're definitely fun.
Like, it's so good. Their stuff's so good that I thought it was a legitimate artist that
Yeah.
we weren't allowed to use, that you just ripped.
I tell you what, man, music can change the game.
Oh,
It
it's a
really
huge
can.
part.
I mean, it literally can change not only music but also voiceover. Adam, me and you just worked on a project.
Audio in general. Yeah.
Me and Adam just finished a project that was a brand trailer sort of piece for a lifestyle company. The music was right, the film was right, but man, the voiceover was wrong. And we tried 3 or 4 different voices that just it made the script bad. And then all of a sudden, Adam introduced me and connected me with Mia, who works out of Sound Images a lot. Mia Carruthers, she's an artist.
Fantastic musician, too.
And she got it. She got the brand and she read it right.
Yeah.
And it really works. And so
I told you.
And so
Adam introduced me, and I've been plugging her to everybody I know.
Oh, she's got that. It's depends on the demographic you're talking to, but the right voice can make it cool to who, and
Exactly.
Mia makes a lot of the lifestyle stuff cool to a lot of people.
And speaking of voices, we just walked in and Adam said he was doing some ADR stuff or some TV and movie stuff. So just sort of reiterate on that how important is having the right voice for the project.
Well, that's honestly, not to like plug the company, but if you think about your project, if you think about your voice, your music, your everything from first the emotional level of what you're going after, after you define that, finding it is all you have to do, and that should be the easy part. Yeah. So that's the way we've always thought of it here. Is like, in searching a music library and defining your brand,
you have to know what you want first.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but taking it to the emotional level, knowing that that's the voice. So you're going to communicate. Voiceover wise, you have to think about it. If it's a voice, if they're going to be talking to you, are you going to listen to it? Yeah. So what tone of voice communicates best to your audience? There was a guy I knew who had, he had a medical bracelet on, and on it said, if found unconscious, responds best to a woman's calm voice. I'm like, I read it, I'm like, that is great. And then something kind of clicks. You're like, well, honestly, there's certain truths to that. So yeah, this guy's passed out. Well, we got to find a calm woman first if we're gonna wake him up because he's big.
That could apply to the guy that's 5 Budweisers deep in front of his TV responds best to calm woman's voice.
Nice.
So as a you should know who you're going after and how to talk to him. If it's too wide, then you're gonna have to water it down a little bit. But it's starting from what that emotion is that you're going after, and tracking it down and finding it or creating it is key. That's always been my way about it.
For sure. And that's something that you guys help with here at Sound Images, right?
Yeah.
You guys help them find a company's way or a project's way in terms of their identity.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, and you guys have a whole brand Sonics thing going on, right?
Yeah. So that's our connection to the corporate. So that's our connection to the corporate side to grow kind of from the brand level to help them understand what that is and then how to execute upon that. So it's helping them creatively define it.
Yeah.
Identity-wise, what's your sonic identity, and then how to execute on that down the line. So that's
sweet.
That's kind of our next
That's
round.
awesome.
That's what I'm excited
and
about.
so you guys, in order to do that, not only are you going to pick the right voice, but you'll pick the right music. You might do that in-house, or you might resource people like Audio Network and say, that's the right track for this brand.
Yeah, well, it's even before that, it's defining the guidelines of what the track should be.
Yeah.
So it's even going upstream even farther, saying your meter should always be 4/4. It should always be. It should if you're going to communicate with the consumer on a brand level, it should be in a major scale. Sure. Stick to arrangements under 5 pieces. Could be organic in texture, not synthetic, no electronic, and define those guidelines for them. So then, if they do need to go search search for production music, they'll
narrows
know
it, for
exactly
sure.
what it is and they have great direction.
Can you off the top of your head, is there a brand that works well with syncopated rhythms?
Syncopated.
Who would that be, like a younger hit brand versus like a P&G soap brand?
Yeah, well, no, not soap. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it'd have to be. I mean, if you're
that's
talking
not clean. That's not clean.
Complexity of a beat is going to speak to something that's a little more forward, a little more
intellectual,
like kind of intellectual.
Yeah, because if you want to change the world, you're like boom, boom, boom,
right.
Change the world, the world, versus that groove of like
Well, it's solid versus fluid. So like a blue chip company or a bank or financial institution that wants to say, hey, we're not going to change,
for sure,
is going to communicate a completely different way than someone saying we're trendy as all get out, and this week we're going to be the coolest thing, and next week that coolest thing is going to be gone, and we're going to be the next coolest thing next week. So the syncopated stuff that could speak to a technology or to a flighty nature, or a trendy nature.
Makes sense.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to approach it from the sound side.
This has been a really good show.
It has been.
I mean, I'm not gonna brag, but
it's been fantastic. We had a great guest. We had
solid show.
Sound or audio network. Jeez.
Dude, this 101, this wild turkey is
disappeared.
Really,
actually,
you guys, you know what we need?
The turkey is flown away.
You know what we're gonna do? You know what we need?
What's up?
We need a pumpkin flavored bourbon.
Oh no, we don't.
No.
Why?
We don't.
Why?
No.
I think we should ban all pumpkin flavored bourbons.
And no longer is that bourbon. Then it's a pumpkin flavored something or whatever.
I think we need to.
Unless you have a pumpkin flavored yeast, I don't think that's going to be.
We need to look. We need to look into it.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna listen. I've got a friend.
I don't know.
Listen, here in town, there is a great place called Party Source.
There is,
and they have an amazing selection of bourbon. They're located on the Kentucky side of the river. Here in Cincinnati. If you don't know about Cincinnati, look it up. It's on the Kentucky side of Cincinnati.
Northern Kentucky is basically southern Cincinnati.
Yes. Yeah. And they have one of the largest selections of bourbon. They have a distillery that's connected to their store.
They do.
And I've got somebody there who I might be bringing on the show.
Really?
He could be our bourbon analyst expert.
Really? Our resident bourbonite?
He might be able to find us a pumpkin spice bourbon or tell us we should never have a pumpkin.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hope he says those
feeling.
Exist and I wouldn't put you guys through that. I'd have to spend an hour in a room with pumpkin spice bourbon, and I'm not down with that.
Unless you're 21 and wearing yoga pants and Uggs.
I didn't realize what kind of controversy I was about to cause.
If we're in yoga pants and a flannel and your hair pulled back.
I gotta say, there's times that I don't want to put ice in my bourbon because I don't want it to melt and screw it up.
Exactly.
That's
Stay true.
Yeah. Okay, you drew the line. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Now, if he can make like a seasonal drink that uses some like mixing swill, bourbon.
So like a pumpkin old fashioned?
If we let's try that.
That would be a little more.
That would be better than a pumpkin infused bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Stick with the bourbon and then add the pumpkin later.
Okay.
But it's got to be part of something else.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Jesus.
Sorry. I apologize.
Get out.
Oh.
You see how much effort it took me to stay in my seat and not walk out?
Guys, we got a giveaway.
I held him
giveaway.
Back. We got a giveaway.
Okay. What's up?
We got to make a transition. Can you pull up Twitter?
Got
it.
What's
Adam's got it.
What is our entries for the Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon T-shirt?
Ooh.
Pulling it up.
I'm pretty sure let's see here, guys. I'm pulling it up right now. Hopefully.
Because we switched up the process.
Yeah. We got off on a tangent. It was all about pumpkin. It was all about pumpkin.
No, I'm just saying for the
bourbon.
entry for the T-shirt. Yeah, no longer is it about this crazy convoluted process of rating and entering and blah 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 blah. Either way, hey, go for it. What do you got?
So what we said to you guys last week that we needed to figure out a way to get people entered for this T-shirt, and we told people go to iTunes and give us a great rating, give us all the things that we need, and then we told them to tweet at
tweet.
What did we tell them to get the T-shirt?
Tweet at FTB Podcast.
Correct.
And say, give me a T-shirt. Hashtag give me a T-shirt, right?
Yes.
So,
We got it.
Who?
I'm just trying to.
Who won it?
I'm trying to find it. It's in here.
We got it written down there.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we got so many of these things to give away, and we have so many people who've already bought them. We've got people up in Columbus that have bought them, all over the U.S. that have bought these T-shirts. I know we've rocked them all the time. You've seen them on Instagram.
Yep.
FDB Podcast. Look us up. We're always posting photos.
I got to post mine.
You do.
A good one.
I mean, they're good-looking T-shirts.
Yeah, they're good.
A fantastic design by Leo Gomez, who's
Is that
down
hand letter?
Okay.
It's hand. Hand lettering T-shirt down in Florida.
And we have this week's winner.
Yeah, who is it?
It's going to go to Scott Balcom at Phalanx. Phalynx.
Phalanx.
Done.
What?
You are getting an FDB T-shirt.
Sweet.
Awesome.
He
But
got
only
it.
in return to. So we need what we need from him is to find out what phalanx is because
Yeah.
I have a few ideas and I'd love for him to dispel them.
Yeah. Well, my might win another way.
Yeah,
but-
no, that's exactly. I think that's the same spot.
we looked at each other and went, way.
Way.
Oh, it's got to
You're
be
getting
something.
on me about pumpkin bourbon. You guys are over here talking about the Phalanx. So, all right.
Anyway,
this show's
so
got to end.
Congrats.
Yeah, that's
You're
good.
going to win a FDB T-shirt.
Yep.
Fantastic. Designed by Leo
Awesome.
Gomez.
And if you want one and
Yeah.
you're listening and you want to enter, just hashtag give me a T-shirt and
Yep.
mention
At
FDB Podcast.
FDB Podcast.
Or go straight to the store on fdbpodcast.com. And for $20, we're still on sale, people.
Yeah, we got a 20% discount going on.
$20. We will send you the deal.
Exactly. If you don't want to risk it and enter to the giveaway, just go buy one.
It's a nice shirt.
And if you buy one, here's the deal. So if you win one, all you get's the T-shirt. If you buy one, you also get a fancy Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon decal
Sticker.
sticker. It's a decal.
All right.
You got to use the correct terminology there, Broseph.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
A sticker is just it's more temporary. A decal it's there to stay. The decal's there to stay. So anyway,
All right.
we had a great episode. We had Audio Network. We'll throw up some links on ftbpodcast.com. Check them out for all your music needs. It's fantastic.
You know what? Why don't we go out this week to that song?
Let's do it.
I'm
Is there any
assuming.
way that we
I'm
can get it
assuming
back on?
since they already shared it, we're cleared to release it. Dave,
Sweet.
can you
Dave,
maybe
roll the
play?
track.
Dave, can you play the ending so that it goes out with
And
a
this
nice
was
little crescendo?
The movie Comet, starring
Yeah.
Long.
Audio Network.
All
Here
right.
it goes.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody.
It's okay. I know someday I'm gonna be with you. Speak to me, my heart is free.
This podcast was recorded live at Sound Images Studio. Find out more at soundimages.com.